Okay, you got me. Maybe one last Call of Duty 7 is hot garbage, and Blizzard on a bunch of talentless nobodies video.
They said that Call of Duty was too big to fail. Famous last words of the Titanic, if memory serves me right. And
They did.
just like naming your game after the Concorde, you are setting yourself up for failure. But doesn't that quote just define Call of Duty and Activision? The idea that they deserve success without trying, that they deserve your money without earning it. And to their surprise, it did.
Well, to be absolutely fair, they were completely right about that for literal years. Yeah, they were literally right about that for I don't know how many years, how many Call of Duties now? It's only now because Battlefield 6 showed a sign of life, and it's dying after this year. Battlefield 6 is probably not gonna be financially that good enough, okay, to keep being made on this level. So, Call of Duty after that is not gonna have competition. Our creators is gonna pass, and probably nothing is gonna replace it. And Call of Duty will be back at literally just getting free money from a bunch of people with extremely poor impulse control, to be kind.
Didn't work. Black Ops 7 might be the worst performing Call of Duty in the history of the franchise. If the trailers getting bombed with dislikes and, well, so many more games actually being worth our money wasn't a sign of the times, a 60 to 70% decline in sales and player counts will be the final nail in the coffin.
Oh, I saw that. I was thinking of making a video about that, but no, then I noticed that that 60-70% decline in sales should be at least just the UK physical copies. Now, granted, that's definitely a big deal, but it is just the UK physical sales. But that is a very good indicator of how bad things truly are, because if you have a game that sells X amount of copies and is successful, and you have the data for physical, for this types of sales, for this and that pre-orders, and then your next one has a 60% drop in one of these categories, you know things are gonna get bad, because it's not random, probably.
Nobody has any idea how bad this is. What if I told you guys Dragon Age the Veilguard did better? And that's only the tip of the iceberg.
Dragon Age the Veilguard did not do better. Now I'm confused. What the hell am I watching this video for? Dragon Age the Veilguard did worse.
Black Ops 7 is the most phoned in entry in the history of the franchise. They barely took the time to scrub off the Grok logo from some of the call signs and calling cards, delivering one of the most embarrassing campaigns I've ever seen for a first person shooter. And it's a game that ultimately.
Oh, what do you not like? Diversity and double crippled vomit of empowered color? Bro, that's racist.
Could have been an expansion or a map pack, but oh man, we wouldn't be able to charge $70 for that. So today what I
should have charged 100, I ain't gonna lie.
Want to do is I want to talk about one of the most deserved failures in gaming history, Black Ops 7 and the Call of Duty franchise. I want to talk about how this publisher has strip mined their IP until there's nothing left, and how I think they have backed themselves into a corner they can't escape. Because if Black Ops 6 lost them $300 million and Black Ops 7 is doing worse, oh no.
Wait, Black Ops 6 lost them money?
And Black Ops 7 is doing worse, oh no. Lost them corner they can't escape. Because if Black Ops 6 lost them $300 million and Black Ops 7 is doing worse, oh no.
I remember the statistics because I looked them up. Black Ops 6 in SteamDB still had double the amount of peak players that Call of Duty 7 currently has. Is Black Ops 6 the one with the police car chases? Black Ops 6. Call of Duty Black Ops. No, it's not. What the hell? I thought it's... No. I'm seeing some ghetto skins right there. Is this the one with the... Oh, yeah. Oh, no. This is with the one with the cringy woman. Oh, yeah. This is the one. Yeah, with the strong and powered. Oh no, that's just zombies. Maybe I'm not sure. I I completely skipped 6. Okay, I literally could not care less. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know anything about it. Well, I'm assuming every Black Ops for the past decade has had some empowered female Captain America, stand with your shield type of thing, right?
But before that, a word from today's sponsor, Starforge Systems. A lot of other people enjoyed something that I think honestly sums up both Call of Duty and just modern gaming as a whole at the exact same time. After I downloaded Black Ops 7, this is how the timeline went. Open the game needs to now restart for an update, load it up again, get dumped into a menu with every other Call of Duty stacked on top of each other like a graveyard of past mistakes, immediately get hit with an ad to buy the game that I've already purchased, hunt down the actual Black Ops 7 tile, play a cutscene, wait for the shaders to install because they can't be bothered to preload those. Now you're finally in Black Ops 7. Oh, wait.
Not gonna lie, based, okay? If this is how... Listen, if you play Call of Duty, in general at this point, I kind of want you to be treated like shit, I ain't gonna lie. I think you deserve it to a very, very fine degree. And the fact that this is what you get kind of puts a smile on my face, I ain't gonna lie. You know? People popularizing Call of Duty has been a huge detriment for gaming in general because it just glorifies slop.
Click the co-op campaign because they're not bothering to deliver a single player one, play another cutscene, get shoved into a matchmaking menu, sign a code of conduct, search for a match, load the match, play another cutscene. 15 minutes. It took me 15 minutes.
That's almost worse than Starfield.
From install to actually touching gameplay. In any other game, I press play on Steam and I'm in that menu in seconds. But in Call of Duty, every inch of friction is intentional. They don't preload shaders, they don't preload patches, they push all of that to the client because your inconvenience is their workflow. They funnel you into their unified launcher to be able to blast you with ads, sales, battle passes, bundles, anything except the game that you paid for. The moment I launched Black Ops 7, nothing was for me. Every second of it served them. My time, my convenience, my experience wasted for 15 minutes because the player's perspective isn't even in the room anymore. Now, look, I am almost struggling to be able to find the words to tear this franchise apart.
Oh, God. Games that have these sort of, whatever this is, hacking games or whatever, it's insane, okay? Oh my God, there's tips. Connect the power from the start to the target. What is the target? I mean, if you're gonna give me tips on something like this, you better fucking explain what the hell is the target and where is the start. Is the start in the middle? Listen, if I need tips for something like this, I am working on roughly 25% of human capacity. So I need a diagram, hopefully on paint, for what the hell is happening here. Rotate the tiles to make a path. What is a path? Sometimes only let the power flow one way. Oh shit! How would I know that? Tiles that will not rotate are locked. What? How? Wait, actually, oh, because it has the locks on it.
Partially because there is just so much wrong with it, and also because I'm just numb to it at this point. Every conversation about this series ends with the same shrug. What do you expect? It's Call of Duty. It has become the poster child for everything that is broken in the games industry. Pure creative bankruptcy, Trojan horse into a box release year after year, solely to squeeze another quarter out of a fan base that they openly disrespect. A game made for one purpose: revenue, led by serpent-eyed executives who treat their audience and their content creators like disposable marketing tools. We need you in Verdansk, or better yet, not allowing content creators to take a bathroom break because it might mess up their B-roll.
And now he's been waiting. He's been waiting like 40 minutes ago.
The thing is, I think the person that told him thought that this was the test log, but this is the actual log. Is the thing.
Okay, I mean,
because
he's gotta go to the bathroom. You know what I mean?
It has to be after. It has to be after.
I mean, I'm just speaking up for him.
Dude, by the way, was this nade shot? I think this was a nade shot thing. People are making fun of that guy for the fact that that he is not allowed to. He needs to play Call of Duty for X amount of hours in a day or in a week or whatever, and then only he can go play Arc Raiders. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, so deserved, so deserved. Okay, listen, it's funny. So many people have these contracts. By the way, is there any disclosure that you need to do on stream if it's like, oh, you need to stream X hours a day and then it's fine?
Yeah.
These guys don't even care about basic human dignity or health. Why would they care about your video game? This attitude, this open contempt for their own customers bleeds straight into Black Ops 7. The campaign is just brain rot masquerading as a video game. It feels frenetic and nonsensical with no real purpose. None of it connects because the people that were making it clearly didn't know.
Did he just say it feels phonetic? Phonetic is just sound.
What they were making in the first place. They're resurrecting long dead enemies, long dead allies, long dead plot lines, all because of some psychosis toxin that conveniently lets them hand wave anything that they couldn't write. The whole thing just devolves into you're literally just fighting your hallucinations because that's the only thing that their story had left. The game constantly blends the current timeline with Mason's imagination, which turns into these pseudo-Inception levels with zombies, flower monsters, and some of the most overcooked mechanics in the entire industry. And all of this is building towards these boss fights that are so tedious and repetitive that it almost feels like a prank. Shoot the glowing flower.
Well, if it's not tedious and repetitive, then the campaign is not going to be even 4 hours long. You understand that, right? Like, you need a 4-hour long campaign at the bare minimum, so you can justify the $80 price tag. You know what? Make it 4.2 hours long and just charge the whole $100. I'll be happy.
So that you can deal damage. Throw the giant machetes so you can deal damage. Repeat until you lose the will to continue. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more miserable, the game is forcing you into co-op where half of the lobby is going AFK at the first checkpoint. It is less of a campaign and more of a shared suffering more than anything else. Now, I could make the case, like a lot of other people, that at least the multiplayer and zombies modes are fine. The maps feel all right, even though half of them are just reheated leftovers from earlier Black Ops and Modern Warfare games. I saw that Call of Duty content creator JGod replied to my post on Twitter after I gave an update on my experience, and he made concessions about the campaign, minimized it because it's only 3 hours, and said that multiplayer and zombies are good overall. And I get that perspective. But in that moment, I realized...
Is it? I just saw a clip because I was planning to do a different video. I saw a clip in Call of Duty where someone was running around with a sniper rifle, like a assault rifle, and just no-scoping people because the bullet just goes exactly where it needs to. And it's hilarious because it one-taps everyone. I mean, their game's objectively ass. I mean, Call of Duty has been objectively ass for literally ever, okay? I have never... You know why I never liked Call of Duty, actually? It's because every time that I saw some kind of compilation or whatever about it, it was just some dude running from the back or the side and killing 3 guys that don't even know he's there. And that was like skill expression or whatever. It was pretty bad.
And replied, there are just better games to play than lining up to punch the ticket on another Call of Duty. $70 for a brain-dead, phoned-in game that could have just been another map pack or an expansion. I could get by. Guys, I could play this game. I could even have fun with my friends, but I am just sick and tired of wasting my time and money on games and companies.
Everything is more fun with friends, but Call of Duty is not more fun with friends.
That don't deserve it. I don't need to make excuses. I don't need to play their game. I'm over it. And judging by the numbers, it looks like for the first time in franchise history, the players finally agree. Everyone is sick of Call of Duty. Black Ops 7 launched to a pitiful 87,000 concurrent players on Steam. And yeah, sure, over the weekend, it scraped its way up to 100,000. But you got to remember, that number reflects the Call of Duty launcher, the unified launcher representing anybody that's playing every Call of Duty title that's inside of it, including the free-to-play Battle Royale Warzone, a launcher that before this game...
What? What? I did not know that. I mean, it does make sense, though.
Least was averaging around 37,000 concurrent players. So if you're doing the math, Black Ops 7 only added about 50,000 concurrent players on release day and maybe 70,000 players across the weekend.
You know what I want? I want some actual numbers because I have a suspicion that the Blizzard Battle.net launcher is dying. I have a really strong suspicion about that, but I have literally no numbers to back it up. That is why I was interested in the Call of Duty has lost undersold 60% or something like that. And then I found the original article because yes, I'm not just gonna do a random headline. And turns out the original article was in the UK in physical stores. Ah, that was so disappointing. But I'm pretty sure. I'm like, clip it and ship it, boys. I am 100% sure that we're gonna, in probably the next like half a year time wise, that we're gonna get some news that the Battle.net launcher is slowly dying. That it's losing players. I have made polls asking people this, and no one wants to use it. I myself don't want to use it because it's bad. Again, every single application placed or whatever that you use that literally tries to give you a news fucking letter update of what's new in garbage land. I'm just gonna try and find a new platform that doesn't do this. It's like Discord. If you keep showing me stuff, I'm just gonna wait until something replaces you, because I don't want a newsletter every time I log on.
That means this multi-million-dollar blockbuster performed worse than Dragon Age the Veilguard at launch. Let that sink in. And guys, none of this should be shocking. Leading up to the launch of Black Ops 7, every red flag was waving, from the online discourse to the trailers being nuked with dislikes. People were
By the way, but again, he's not right about this. He is actually right about the Steam, probably, because I did not know about the fact that it actually is combining everything. I thought it's just some kind of thing that changes, but whatever. I should have actually figured it out the moment that I looked at the full chart. But whatever. Didn't think too hard on that one. But Dragon Age the Veilguard is primarily played on this. And Black Ops is still primarily a battle.net game. So most people are battle.netting with the free Game Pass, and it's not even showing on Game Pass. So it's a funny meme to say that Dragon Age Veilguard sold more than Black Ops 7. It is funny, but it's not true. It's sadly not true.
And guys, none of this should be shocking. Leading up to the launch of Black Ops 7, every red flag was waving, from the online
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna use that as a title name for the video, but still.
Scores to the trailers being nuked with dislikes. People were brushing it off because Call of Duty always sells. Even Activision was leading into that delusion when they literally said that the franchise was too big to fail when they were asked if they were worried about Battlefield 6. And now, well, they got a lot to worry about, because if we compare this to Black Ops 6,
I don't understand. I think it's so stupid when these companies say, "Oh, I'm too big to fail." Bro, you're not a bank that's gonna be bailed out, because if you go under, that means that the whole world just suddenly gets plunged into an African tier recession. Okay? No. You're just a video game that no one cares that if you don't succeed. You're a video game that has rivals, first of all. Second of all, you don't have speculative money investments and not actually any liquidity inside yourself, so you can't be replaced. And if you get replaced, no one's going to care. And three, most importantly, the players have all the authority over do you succeed or not. If you deliver slop, well, people are not going to buy. You can fail. In gaming, there is no such thing too big to fail. I mean, we have a whole history of this shit. And mainly it's called actually Blizzard and Bethesda at this point. But, Bungie, Ubisoft, and many other such cases, honestly. You see this all the time. World of Warcraft was too big to fail. It failed. Blizzard in general was too big to fail. Well, a couple of shitty remasters later, a couple of absolute asinine, what's it called later? StarCraft 2 was literally the greatest esport, the most popular thing on streams for like a couple of years straight. Dead. Completely dead now. Literally, Brood War, I think, has more of an audience at this point. which is actually super based. Fuck, dude, watching competitive Brood War is still one of my absolute guilty pleasures, okay? It is what it is.
Launched last year, that game peaked over 300,000 concurrent players, which means that Black Ops 7 is down 60 to 70%. Now, as usual, you've got people that want to deny reality. The moment Steam charts come up, people suddenly say that the platform doesn't matter anymore. Conveniently, that argument is always coming from people whose identity or oftentimes their income depends on Call of Duty succeeding every single time. It's a Call of Duty content creator, some diehard fanboy that's pretending that the game is just being played everywhere else but the biggest gaming platform in the world. They insist that everyone is using the dedicated launcher or they're playing on console, but that excuse crumbles instantly when you remember that the launcher hit almost 500,000 concurrent players the day it came to Steam, and Black Ops 6 hit over 300,000 players last year. Steam charts do not give us exact numbers, but they do give us exact trends, and that trend is not going up. It is falling off a cliff. It is proof that this game isn't selling, players aren't showing up, and that the product simply...
True, but it would be actually more accurate to say that the Steam number is large enough to represent higher and bigger statistics in general. Again, this is how they do consensuses and whatnot, and and if you're not faking it, this is typically almost always going to be true on the large scales. If you interview 10,000 people about something, unless that is a very specific region that you're targeting, if you're not doing it fairly, just randomly, you're probably going to get the same results with the 10,000 people as you're going to get with 100,000, a million, or 10 million, or a billion. This is how average percentiles with large numbers work. This is why we can't trust Steam DB as a good source.
Isn't worth the money. And that's the core of it. That is why this game is failing right now. What Black Ops 7 offers barely even qualifies as DLC, let alone a full game. The only reason it's packaged this way is because it makes them more money, not because it's offering you anything more of value. Maybe that's worked for them in the past. That's not working anymore. Players are waking up. Players are getting whiplash over the sheer number of genuinely good games that are dropping right now. I don't know how anybody could keep supporting something this lazy when you have Battlefield 6, Arc Raiders, or a whole wave of other games that are actually trying. Now, I've seen some of the conversations about the game's use of AI, and I think that this really comes down to what I've said 100 times by now. It's about implementation and intention. A game like Arc Raiders that's using text-to-speech to be able to make the experience more immersive and accessible, to give players more ways to communicate, that's done for the good of the game. That's for the good of the players. Call of Duty, on the other hand, used AI to scrape Studio Ghibli-style grok images and shove them into achievements and microtransactions because they wanted to cut costs and make more money. It has nothing to do with the experience. It has nothing to do with value. It has everything to do with profit margins. And when you use tools like that to slowly cheapen your development, it doesn't just affect the AI-generated art or those parts of the games, it infects the entire design philosophy. You can see it across every inch of Black Ops 7, every corner cut, every asset that was reused, every lazy decision that is shaped in this mindset that this product only needs to be just good enough to push another transaction. And that's the part that makes this entire thing so embarrassing and pathetic to me. This is the biggest gaming company, the biggest gaming publisher in the entire world, working on one of the biggest titles, one of the biggest franchises in the world. These guys have generated billions of dollars in revenue. They've generated tons of fan support. They have 20 years of experience making these games. And this is what you deliver. This is all you have in you. It's all you're willing to give.
I'm sorry, what do you mean this is what you deliver? They have been delivering pretty much this for years now. Again, Call of Duty 7 would be a success if Battlefield 6 did not release and it was not as good as it was. Call of Duty 7 would have been success if Arc Raiders did not release. That's it. They are right to believe... Activision is completely right to believe that they are too big to fail. Unless there's competition, Call of Duty is not going to fail. Everyone's going to buy it because they're idiots. If you're playing COD, I mean, you're already slopping it out like there's no tomorrow. I'm sorry, it just is what it is. Okay, you have the right to want to play do the fucking 15 child, 7 wives, then 3 stepsisters, and 5 of them are pregnant. Meme, but still, it is slop at the end of the day. It is what it is. Anyway, that was legendary. Drops 10 out of 10. Bye.